Quick, like and subscribe if you want good luck for the next 5 years.
In this one, looking down from almost the same angle. Here we go, rotation with the launch pad, well above the damage threshold for Storm Surge. Excellent spot, and 12 rockets in the RPG. They're going to build on pre-built structure over there. Let somebody else put up, might even be their own builds.
And this is exactly what you want to study from this star trio right here. Zone 6, they go for the high ground, so they're actually going to take the high ground. He's going to catch 2 on the knock right there, which means that team is really hurting now. That's going to be Vorin who gets taken out there. Vorin was also in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a power takedown right here. It's going to allow this trio to just get one step closer, kind of breaking away, getting, you know, Shio Wager, the mayonnaise tub to the face. So we'll see if it, comes to fruition before the day's up.
Mitro staying a little bit towards the back, keep throwing down those RPGs at players that are rotating, or the builds to see if we can get drops on people. Mitro pick it up. There's those 2 Elims in the feed, so he did secure both of them. That puts the entire trio at 6 total right now, 17 points. And we're looking at placement now, top 15 trios remaining. Only 29 players, though, as the elimination feed is starting to light up across the board. These are the zones that really cut the player count down as people are moving, especially when you have one of, if not the best trio on Ultimate High Ground with an RPG. Are you kidding me?
But
they are in the best spot.
Remember, it still hurts to hold high ground from Zone 6 so early. They're going to be forced to jump down soon if they can't, kind of map conserve properly. They're getting broken down consistently now by the shockwaves. These are one of the cons that happen when you take that high ground, because you don't get the pleasures of looting the players you drop, right? Just like that. All that loot's gone. They actually can't use it.
And every time you hear a shockwave, you'll see these players snap and look up in the air to see if they can try and find who's on the fly. In case you have free shots, as that elimination is secured. Mitro picking up a knock on Falconly in the feed. Another one for the trio, 7 remaining. I've got to say, if this is not a win for this team, I don't know what is.
It's going to be a close one. Mongraal actually did not have any more AR left in his gun. There's no more RPG left here. It's a straight-up shotgun battle. This is a crucial Elim. That's going to get them some of the resources that they need to hold this high ground here. And it looks like it's cutting back across, so lucky for them, they're going to be able to kind of reuse some of their resource here. We have a couple players left in the game here. Red Rush in the low ground, Shaka and Cal as well. And here's Mitro just raining fire. That tac sub SMG so good for shredding through builds right here. And honestly, it can pierce through the turbos like right there. These are the shots. Good pressure right here from Mitro, putting down the fire, putting all the ammunition to use here. We're almost in the final zone now. This is it. Storm Zone 9. The close in will happen. Looks like Benji Fishy's going to go for that high ground. You saw him elevate himself right there. So he's going to get out of the harm's way of the shockwave. And Mitro's going to stay down here and just get down and dirty with the TAC SMG right now, Lupo.
You have to remember at the last set of placements here, the points really kick up as you go from 5th to 4th and 3rd to 2nd, and then the Victory Royale. So every time you see a player go down, like right there, the 4 trios remaining get even more points. As soon as one more trio goes down, we'll get it 1st and 2nd, and that's it. And we're down to the very last second here, the spray from above. This honestly, as soon as we got to top 40, this was Mongraal, Mitro, Benji Fishy all the way to the end. No surprise here.
And a monstrous 12 Elim game right there. And you saw even in the final moment.
Luxurious trio of Melody and his partners don't have that much of a good time. We saw Yaldi also popping off earlier in our first highlight clip with a lot of endgame moments, but now in the mid game as well, he can balance the pressure of saving his teammates as well as dropping good pressure on the enemies he's facing. We have the star trio right now. We saw Tfue have an insane snipe earlier off of his asteroid, but Fiber and Canada are no individuals to kind of skip over. They prove that in pressured fights and box fights, they hold true. Now, one of my favorite trios of the region that are so interesting to watch because of their dynamics, Binny, Diggy, and Hogman, they kind of go through with Hogman as the person leading the entire trio, basically Rottweilers on a leash, because when they're in box fights, they're so accurate with their aim and can get the job done efficiently and fast, giving him more room to play off of. Not Panda, Stowe, and Fuzzy. We saw these guys earlier in one game prove so much so that they're very good in terms of game sense and mechanics end game, but they can also prove themselves through cool action in the mid game with snipes as well. Swifty Slides coming back again, showing that, hey, I might have qualified through consistency, but I can be even more consistent, taking out higher placing trios such as Luriston above me in total big trio versus trio box fights, still living forward. Now, we have Canada with a sick sequence of taking height with traps, box fighting the other trio who has things to prove, Harpy, as we went over earlier, and then going back over to reloads as well. Zeke and I got a chance to cast over these types of games too, which are near the edge of the map, a whole new dynamic and threat for trios to kind of try to utilize. Panda had a lot of success in game 1, unfortunately, not enough to stay alive for game 2. Reloads now on the low ground, hitting. I feel like you have this tac shotgun in your inventory. It hits harder than pumps when you're finding people and shooting them in the late game. It's nuts. Canada now up. Fibers on the high ground as well. He gets a nice beam up in the sky. Then going back into zone, still has height, but doesn't really concern himself with exactly what's going on. Doubles back, gets the elim, gets the loot and the knock and the refresh, and has so many options available for him to move around with. The RPG being, a win condition, but win conditions being utilized when the zone is super, super small. This is the perfect moment for him to basically secure the win by playing smart, even getting the elim. He also has shockwaves to use to even boost out his enemy into storm if that's what he wants to do. Instead of taking shield damage off with the RPs, just bully the builds, make him get mispositioned, and boom, the shockwave comes through. He gets pushed out. He knows exactly which direction that was in. He knows the enemy took a little bit of health damage as well. A nice pump on reloads. Canada comes through. Easy cop up, easy clutch and roundup as well. He's a janitor, man. He just mops it all up. Mops it all up.
My boy Adenak. Sure do love seeing that guy. Good old friend of mine. Let's take a look at the standings out of NA East Heat number 3. Panda, Fuzzy, and Stowe, they're at the top with 43 points. Don't make sound, Sundown. I hear you over there. Now, they are leading by 12 points, which is pretty substantial right now. But don't forget Zari, Jalen, Parpy. These guys are up here. Take a look at this. Recently formed Tfue and his trio. They're at 3rd place. They're looking real good. Cadet.
Following, Jakey goes down as well. You have so many players stacked underneath now. An Aspect sitting all the way up top. Pressure on Saf inside a box. Zypha finds elimination. Animal finds an elimination. Multiple players getting knocked. You're up to 5 now for this trio, and there are 8 trios total remaining at this point as we look towards the final.
Look at how many players are there.
There are so many players stacked up in the same box, all trying to rotate through. You see the outlines underneath. Monster, it is insanely dense with competitive players down in the bottom. An Animal, Aspect, and Bucky still sitting up top in the most dominant spot.
They are
absolutely ridiculous.
Running the lobby right now. Running the lobby with the minigun, heavy AR follow-up. Bucky just raining down shots, cracking open builds, creating all the chaos. Finally, someone contests them with the shockwave to give them a little run for their money. But Animal responds with the wall boost all the way up from the shockwave play, taking that high ground right back and continuing to lay the pressure down on the field. Now, was it worth it as they continue to waste all of their materials? Quick edit right there. Animal is looking for that ramp edit here. He isn't quite going to connect. So now, final moments. The zone is going to be closing in on itself. 50 seconds remain here, Doc Lupo.
Down to just the very last 3 trios. 5 players total and only 1 full trio. So it's a 3v1v1 right now as Aspect, Animal, and Bucky are literally out for all of it. The top down from above, a little bit of pressure. Taking some shots. They need to maintain that ultimate high ground. Looks like Animal trying to build out ahead of everything else. Smack goes down. And at some point, no, don't do it to him. Mikey goes down to the bludgeon. A pickaxe finish.
Boy.
Own 2 launch pads left, 10 trios or 6 trios left alive with 10 people. Tfue owns everything up top. No one's even trying to contest him at the moment. He's going to be building up. Has no ammo in his attack. There's a big beam coming in off of height 2. He goes down. They have lost their advantage. It's just Tfue now. Fibers down. Kanata gets his life taken away too. 6 elims in total. 1 placement away from getting 3 points. An elim possibility as well. Hard mats all around. Fiber. Arab popping off as well. He could possibly qualify if he got enough points too. Everything's on the line at the moment. Hard mats. The left-hand peak comes through. Arab goes down. We'll see if he gets enough to pop through. Tfue now. The solo Molo individual. We'll see if he can come through. No pump. There is actually a pump available at the moment. No tax. So he has an advantage on peak shots. Jalen going straight down. Parpy getting knocked too. The 2-for-1. Twyfo is alive all the way at the top,
all the way
though.
at the top.
The
He's by himself.
Zori isn't enough. He doesn't have mats to build all the way up. Zori has no heals. 3, 2, 1. He wins the game. Twyfo positioning, trumping over the clutch moment.